You took a loss, a real one. Maybe it was bigger than your rule said it should be. Maybe you held too long. Maybe the market just did something it had no business doing. And then, before you even had time to think, you were back in. Different ticker, bigger size, no plan. You told yourself you were recovering. You told yourself you just needed one good trade to get it back. You weren't recovering. You were revenge trading. And you probably knew it while it was happening. And here's what nobody in trading is willing to tell you. The revenge trade is never about the money. It never was. And until you understand what it actually is, what's really driving it, you will keep doing it every single time. The trading world calls it a discipline problem, a greed problem, a psychology problem in the loosest, most useless sense of that word. It's none of those things. The revenge trade is a threat response. Specifically, it's your nervous system interpreting a financial loss as a status threat, a threat to your identity as a competent trader, a threat to your self-worth, a threat to the story you've been telling yourself about who you are. And when your nervous system identifies a threat, it does what it was built to do. It initiates a recovery behavior. Fight back, reclaim, restore. That drive to get it back immediately, that urgency, that tunnel vision, that complete inability to wait, that's not weakness. That's your survival response doing exactly what it was designed to do in exactly the wrong environment. The market doesn't care about your identity. It doesn't care that you need to recover, and it will absolutely take your money while your nervous system is busy trying to defend your ego. The revenge trade isn't a trading problem. It's a regulation problem. And you cannot trade your way out of a regulation failure. How do you know if revenge trading is a pattern, not just a one-off? Well, there's 3 signs. Sign 1, the loss that triggers it is always in a specific range. It's not every loss. It's losses past a certain size, or losses after a winning streak, or losses on a trade you were confident in. Your revenge trade has a trigger point, and that trigger point is your activation threshold. The moment your nervous system tips from manageable to threat. And most traders never identify where that line is. That's why they keep crossing it. Sign 2 is your position sizing changes. The revenge trade is almost always bigger than your plan allows. And you know this. When you're in it, you know the size is wrong and you do it anyway. That's not greed. That's your nervous system escalating in proportion to the perceived threat. Bigger loss equals bigger response. It's automatic. And it will stay automatic until you build a system that interprets it before it starts. Sign 3. You can't remember making the decision. This is the one that scares traders when they really sit with it. You look back at the trade and there's no clear decision point. No moment where you thought it through and chose to enter. It just happened. That's because it did just happen. Your prefrontal cortex wasn't running that trade. Your survival brain was. And your survival brain doesn't deliberate, it acts. If any of those 3 are familiar, you're not weak, you're dysregulated. And there's a measurable difference between those 2 things. So what do you actually do about it? Not breathing exercises, not affirmations, not a rule that says no trading after a loss that you break every time anyway. What you need is a way to measure where your activation is before you ever open a position. So the intervention happens before the breach, not after. The traders I work with track something I call an activation level. It's a real-time internal read on where your nervous system is sitting relative to your personal threshold. And the critical insight is this: your threshold isn't fixed. It shifts based on recent losses, sleep, stress, sequence of trades, which means I feel fine is not a reliable pre-trade check. A scored measure is. When you can see that number, and when you have a protocol for what to do when it's elevated, revenge trading doesn't disappear through willpower. It becomes structurally impossible because you're not relying on discipline in the moment. You've built a system that makes the breach visible before it happens. And that system is what I build with traders inside the Calm Assassin Intensive. If you want to understand what that looks like in practice, the application link is below. If you've revenge traded, and if you're watching this, you probably have, I want you to know something. It doesn't mean you're not cut out for this. It means you've been trying to solve a nervous system problem with a trading solution. And those two things are not the same category of problem. So drop a comment below. What's the trigger for yours? What's the loss size, the situation, the sequence that tips you over? I read every one, and sometimes just naming it is the first step to measuring it. And if you're ready to go further, the link is below. Regulation is the edge. So I'll see you in the next one.